Hi, I'm Claire and this is Craig, and right now we were supposed to be travelling around Australia and New Zealand in a campervan. But since we had to cancel those plans, we decided to buy our own van and have a go at self-converting it into a campervan.
Neither of us have a huge amount of DIY experience, and being in a wheelchair adds another challenge, so it's going to be an interesting experience.
In this episode, we finish off our second cabinet before adding the final touches to the van. First of all, we need to cut out all the wood for our doors.
For this section of the cupboard, we're going for a pull-down door. So we've cut out our door here, we've got these hinges, and we're just going to drill the holes for the hinges now and screw them in. We're ready to hang the doors for the sink cabinet now. We've painted the wood which we cut out earlier, and now we're going to attach some hinges and put them up.
We're now cladding the side of this cabinet here, and it's a bit more complicated than some of the other claddings we've done because this wall here is curved. So what we have to do is measure out the size of the cladding first and take it over to the table saw and cut it to size. Then we have to bring it back in, and then we have to scribe the edge of the wall with the cladding to get the curved shape that we need. Then we have to take that back over to the saw, and we're cutting this time with a hacksaw to get the curve. And then once we've cut the curve out, we're then bringing it back and nailing it on.
We finished cladding our wall yesterday, but it went dark so we couldn't show you the end of it. Now we just need to add the finishings. We finally got around to putting some handles on this cabinet here, which has been in the van for months now without any.
We finally put a front on this cupboard here, which was open for absolutely ages. We just happened to have an offcut from the countertop, which was the right size, so we thought that would look quite nice here. And now we need to add some handles to the cupboards on the other side. We're now installing this countertop, which is going to be a flip-up countertop. We cut this out a few weeks ago when we did the rest of the countertops, but we haven't installed it yet, so we're doing that now using these flip-up hinges. Today's task is to cut out some more doors for our cabinet. Now that we've cut out the doors, we need to add handles and hinges. We're going to be painting all of the doors on the bottom, but we've decided that we're going to oil the upper door instead as a bit of a feature. Today is a nice sunny day, which means it's finally time for us to paint these cabinets. I'm going to be painting the cabinet in the van, and Craig is going to paint the doors over here. dried, I'm going to attach all of the doors onto the cabinet. We designed this cabinet so that these cupboard doors could double up as tables. So all we needed to do was take some timber and cut it down into some table legs, and then we simply just place the table leg down on the floor and pull the cupboard doors down on top of the timber, and then we have a nice sturdy table. We did originally have one big table, but in the end we decided to cut it down in two so that we could access both of these cupboards independently, because it was a bit clunky to have to pull the whole table down every time we wanted to get in it. But it also means that when we're sitting here, one person can use the table and one person can just sit if they want to, rather than both having to do the same thing.
So we're now making our curtains for our van with a bit of help from Claire's mum. We've measured the width of the curtains and the height of the curtains, allowed a bit of extra width so that they can gather a little bit, and now Claire is cutting them to size. So what Claire's doing now is cutting the thermal backing for our curtains. So we've got this as a separate roll, we've measured it all to size, and now we're going to cut these and then we're going to stitch them together with the curtains so that they form a better thermal barrier over the window, and then they'll also make the curtains black out.
I'm just going to drill a small hole into the side of the van here so that we can try and put some curtain hooks up to fit our curtain rails. We went away for a few days to test out the van and see how it is in practice, and most stuff was alright, but we did notice a few problems. One of the problems was this drawer here. So we've driven around before and the magnets that we'd installed had always held it closed, but we'd always been driving around with an empty drawer. So as soon as we added the extra weight of food in the drawer, we suddenly noticed that the cupboard door started flying open as soon as we went round bends, which is obviously not ideal. So what we're doing now is we're adding some extra hooks to keep it closed while we're on the move, and then we're also going to add some extra hooks to these cupboards over here as well, just to stop them from having the same issue. And now it is finally time to do something that I've been waiting to do for absolutely ages, and that is to put this map on this wall. One of the other changes that we've made since testing out the van is that we decided to cut this other smaller cushion into two so that we can operate the pull-out bits of the bed separately. So we can have one person lounging here at the back at the same time as somebody else can sit here at the front using their one table. And it also means that we can get to one set of cupboards without having to move the whole bed across as well. Another change we've made is we've added a few extra shelves in this cupboard here just for better storage. And that's it, we've finished the van conversion. We're now off to the Lake District, so we'll see you there.